So today we'll start with synchronization, that is the frame alignment. So this is the block diagram that is there for frame alignment of PCM signals, which is entering a digital exchange. For any of the operation that has to happen using a time division switching network for PCM frame, all the incoming highway lines must be exactly aligned. So whatever are the incoming lines, they should be exactly aligned with respect to each other. But what is happening here is these incoming PCMs are from different places. So the signals will be subjected to a different delay. So what actually we are doing is we are using a buffer in order to make their alignment. Yes. So here you can see that there is a timing extraction to which the digital signal is entering with a timing of FA, and if it is with respect to the same timing, it is entering the buffer, and if the delay is required, then it is entering into the buffer with some delay. So what exactly we are doing here is we are using a exchange clock which is at a timing of FB. This is also given to a buffer. So this buffer will understand with respect to the exchange clock and with respect to the incoming signal that has entered to the exchange. If there is a perfect match, then it is directly sent. If there is a mismatch, it means that the alignment is required. It means that this whatever has entered the system, or say the exchange, it has to be delayed with respect to the exchange clock frequency that has been attached with respect to a single exchange. So here these digits are read into this buffer at the rate of FA. Yes, and this is read from the clock frequency at the rate of FB. So in order to have a proper alignment of the signals whichever are entering into the system, we are using a buffer for a storage of the signal in order to have a correct alignment in the system. So based on this, you are having various synchronization networks. Let me go with that. So here basically it is classified into two types, that is single ended and double ended. Again in single ended you are having unilateral and bilateral. Yes, uni in the sense single, bi in the sense two. Yes, in case of the single ended, excuse me, in case of the single ended unilateral, what is happening, and in case of single ended bilateral, what is happening, just I'll be explaining it. Yes. So before moving to this, let me say what is the role of this buffer, how is that working. So if the buffer is full, in the sense the fill of the buffer is constant and its level depends on the phase difference between the incoming line and the exchange line. If this buffer overflows, it means that whatever are the contents of this buffer has to be erased and again it has to start to refill. Once this buffer is emptied completely, then whatever are the contents of the last frame are repeated to refill it. So here, whatever are the content in this buffer, if it is overflowing, what is happening? And if once it is overflowed, we have to completely erase it such that we can start from the next one. Yes. So in either case, there is a frame in the error, and this is said to be as frame slip. Again, in frame slip, there are two types. One is said to be as controlled slip, and the other one is said to be as uncontrolled slip. So controlled slip is nothing but if a slip is made forcibly to regain frame alignment. Whatever are the data that is entering into this particular exchange are stored in the buffer. Yes, the rate at which they are entering is FA. The rate at which they are entering, the rate of the exchange is FB. So these two are used so that there can be a perfect alignment. If there is a perfect alignment, it is well and good. If it is not, then we are trying to align them so that whatever is the delay that has happened during the transmission of the signal from transmitter to the receiver is recovered in this particular exchange. Yes. So if that particular frame is lost, then that is said to be as frame slip. And here controlled in the sense we are trying to do it forcibly in order to gain the frame alignment. So that is said to be as controlled slip. What is happening in case of uncontrolled slip is, here the frame slip is due to the malfunctioning in the transmission, or it can be within the switching system also. Since it is not under our control, so it is said to be as uncontrolled slip. In either of the cases, the frame is lost. Yes. So this is the case of frame slip, or say frame error. So depending upon this itself, we are going from various network structures. So in a synchronous digital network, one or two atomic reference clocks control the frequency of the clock of all the exchanges in the network. So this will be called as despotic control. So what is happening is the synchronization network is added to the PSTN network. Whatever you are studying this particular synchronization network, this is there in National Telecommunication Network, which you have already come across in module 1, which is also called as PSTN network. How is that? I will show it once I complete this one. So here, the local clock in each exchange is provided by a crystal oscillator. So here just we are showing it as a clock. Yes. And its frequency is adjusted by controlling the voltages. So basically what we are doing is, here let me consider this to be as exchange A. In any of the combination synchronization network you consider, this entire part as exchange A, and here is exchange B. Yes. So exchange A is having a clock, exchange B is also having a clock. So what is happening with respect to each of the synchronization network? So here in this particular case, the first one, single-ended unilateral, exchange A is acting as a master and exchange B is acting as a slave. So here B will decide the phase difference between its own clock and the exchange A clock. So you can see here there is a phase comparator. Yes, it is at exchange B. Exchange B is a slave as of now, the consideration. So here this B will find out the difference between phase difference between its own clock and the exchange of, clock of the other exchange. Based on that, it will go for synchronization or rearranging the frame alignment, whether to provide a delay or not. Yes. So here this is a case of single-ended unilateral. Unilateral in the sense it is only one. It means phase comparator is present in only one exchange. Whereas in single-ended bilateral, bi in the sense two, it means that both the exchanges will be having the phase comparators. So this is a phase comparator in exchange A and this is a phase comparator in exchange B. These are nothing but the clock of each of the exchange. This is of exchange A and this is the clock of exchange B. You can see that this particular phase comparator is having the input from its own exchange as well as from the input of the other exchange. Based on the phase comparator output, this clock will be adjusted. Similarly, across the exchange B. So this particular phase comparator is having an input from its own exchange and the input from the other exchange. Depending upon the output of this phase comparator, the clock of the exchange B is adjusted. So this is the case with single-ended, unilateral and bilateral. So here the decision process is made at each of the link. Yes. What was happening in the first one? Decision was made only at one particular exchange, but here it is made at both the exchanges. So therefore, Both exchange clocks achieve the same average frequency. Then what is the disadvantage of this particular single-ended unilateral and bilateral synchronization system that we are going for double-ended? Yes, the first main thing is the phase comparator are unable to distinguish between the phase change due to the frequency drift, or is it because of the propagation time? What actually is happening here is whatever is the phase comparator in both the cases. In case one, that is single-ended unilateral, this is a phase comparator. In single-ended bilateral, each of the exchange are having a phase comparator. In either of the case, these phase comparator are unable to distinguish what they are unable to distinguish that whether the phase change is because of a frequency drift, or is it because of the propagation time. Yes, so here because of this we are going for a double ended unilateral as well as bilateral. What is happening in case of double-ended unilateral? So here, you can see that there are phase comparators. There is one addition in this particular double-ended unilateral, that is a subtractor has been introduced. In case of unilateral, subtractor is only at one particular exchange. In case of bilateral, subtractor is across both the exchanges. So here in double-ended unilateral, you can see that there is a phase comparator, a clock, and a subtractor. The basic operation of the phase comparator and the clock remains the same. That is, the clock is, the phase comparator is getting the input from the clock of this as well as the clock from the other exchange. Based on its output, what was happening in the previous case, based on the output of the phase comparator, the clock was adjusted. But here, since they are unable to recognize why the propagation, why there is a delay, so we are going for getting a subtractor. So here the output of each of the phase comparator is given to this particular subtractor, and the output of that subtractor is given to a clock. Instead of directly giving the output of a phase comparator to a clock, we are including a subtractor which will get the input from each of the phase comparator from both the exchanges. And based upon the output of the subtractor, the clock is maintained. In case of double-ended unilateral, yes, here the only difference is it says by, so both the exchanges will be having a subtractor. Whatever is the operation at one exchange is the same across the other. That is, the output of both the phase comparators are given to the subtractor, and just put a arrow here. The output of this particular subtractor is given to a clock. Similarly, across here, the subtractor is getting the input from phase comparator of both the exchanges, and the result is given to a clock. So this is with respect to double-ended bilateral synchronization system. So this you can just look over. So if you just briefly overlook of this, then you can make out that this diagram is nothing but the National Telecommunication Network, or say the PSTN network. Yes, so this introduces a synchronization system. So this is level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. So there it is just mentioning which type of exchange it is: trunk, main local exchange, minor local exchange. Yes, so here whatever are these single lines is, they say that it is a unilateral link. If it is double arrowed, it means that it is a bilateral link. And this is a standby link, wherein you come across the concept of AAR, that is automatic alternative routing. Yes, each of the exchange in the same line are interconnected with each other so that they can provide a AAR facility.